Good morning, class.
Good morning, ma'am.
So before we were going to start on our discussion, please let us stand for the prayer. Miss Libero, would you mind lead us to prayer?
Our Almighty, most loving Father in heaven, thank you so much for all the blessings that we receive. Thank you for the life. Thank you for the strength. May you guide us to all our undertakings today. Please forgive us for all our sins. In Jesus' name, our Savior.
Amen. So let us check the attendance. So who is absent?
None, ma'am.
None. Okay, very good. So before we're going to start with our discussion, I have here something to show you. Please observe the pictures being presented. Okay, that would be all. And so what have you observed on the pictures? Ms. Lavero?
I have observed from the picture, ma'am, that the picture entails all about the humanity. I think it's about their traits and characters. That's all.
Yes, exactly. So let us go first with the first picture. So what do you think would be our topic for today? Miss Gwendolyn? Any idea?
I think the topic would be about the character traits of the people.
Yes, to be exact, we are going to discuss today about the 14 negative traits of Filipinos. So, first we have what do you see in the picture? Yes, Ms. Gwendolyn.
I think the picture spells out about the crab mentality of the Filipino.
Yes, this shows us the crab mentality. So what do you think is the characteristic of crab mentality? So, as you observe, the crab uses its hand to climb up or climb at the top. Yes, any idea?
I think crab mentality would talk about that if someone or your neighbor, for example, had attained a success, then the other one would want to bring him down again.
Yes, exactly. Just like in a current situation, just like in the Miss Universe. Yes, people are digging on her background because she wins the competition. Have you heard that news?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So, what do you think? Is it a good character or not?
Definitely not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why? Yes, Ms. Lavero?
I think if someone attains success, it's not a good attitude that you will be opposing it. Somehow, if you are a good person or a good citizen, if someone attains success in life, then you should be happy as well. It's like you are sharing the happiness that someone or your fellow citizen is having, or you should also celebrate it because as a human, we all share in the same. We live in the same, we live in the same place, and we all have the same feelings.
Yes, very good. Yes, because as a Filipino, we must support each other because crab mentality will not make us go anywhere if we are going to act like it. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So what have you observed? What have you observed on the second picture? Yes, Miss Luvero.
I think the picture shows a procrastination.
Yes, very good. It is procrastination or mañana habit. So, who among you here all procrastinate all the time?
Not all the time, but sometimes.
Okay, sometimes. So what happened when you procrastinate?
You missed the deadline.
Yes, there's a lot of opportunities that we miss, right?
You do your things haphazardly.
Yes, as a hazard, or this is the tomorrow's trap. We call it the tomorrow's trap or the mañana habit. So what happened? In your experience, Ms. Gwendolyn, when you procrastinate, what happened?
I'm doing my work haphazardly.
Yes, haphazardly. So, what if you were, example, the deadline's tomorrow? What do you do? You still procrastinate? Okay, Miss Lovero.
So if that's the case, ma'am, if the deadline would be tomorrow, it's either if I get the feeling that I could just finish it in just an hour, then I could just do it tomorrow if I feel like I want to procrastinate all the things that I need to do. But if I feel that I could not be able to successfully finish it or done my things by tomorrow, then I start doing it tonight.
Okay. So most of students are behaving like that. So if the teacher will not pursue the student will not work. So I guess we been in there.
Yeah.
Been there. So let's go to the next slide. So what have you seen in the picture? So what have you observed? What's the boy doing? Yes? She's lying around. Why there's a Batman there?
Oh,
Yes, Miss Gwendolyn.
it's the famous line that Filipinos always say that bahala na si Batman.
Okay, very good. And that is the common saying that bahala na or come what may. Bahala na si Batman. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, most of us, do you behave like this?
Sometimes.
Okay, why do we say bahala na? What do we actually act? Why do we act like that? Okay, Slovero?
Maybe it's a part of a person feeling that sometimes we just tend to say that bahala na if we feel like we don't want to do the things that we are bound to or we have responsibility to do so. So we sometimes tend to say bahala na if we get lazy or we do not have the feeling to work on that thing.
Yes. So sometimes we also put God to everything like bahala na, or like. But what is the difference is when we say bahala na to God, but we didn't work. But faith without work is dead, right?
Yeah.
So we have to work because God will do the rest, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next. So what have you seen in the next picture? So, what have you observed? Your face. Yes, idea?
Okay, the picture shows that the person would want to make a handshake or they are making an agreement, but the other one is having a two-face. It's like he's dealing or he's confirming, but on the other hand, in his back of his mind, he did not. So I think it's two faces, or like sometimes we
Yes.
do backstabbing. We're nice in front, but we do actually think negatively to other people when they do not see it.
Yes, very good. Or we describe it as hypocrisy or being a double-faced person. So it is exactly showing us that you're being good at in front, but you are actually crossing your fingers at the back. So people are like that are very very toxic. So we meet people like that. They backstab us, but we didn't know it because they are double-faced person. So what happens when you meet a hypocrisy or hypocrite people? You would know it exactly or not at first look.
I think it would depend, Mom. If sometimes we do feel, but we cannot judge because by mere sight or by we do not know the story behind. So we just have to accept the reality. As long as you do not harm other people, then you do good things to them, then there is nothing to worry about.
Yes.
It's like it all depends on them if they do that attitude, but you know for yourself that you do not harm other people, so
Yes.
it's fine.
So very good. So we must not act like a hypocrite. Be real or be who you are, and be good to other people. So
That is right.
yes, let's go to the next picture. So what have you observed in the next picture? So what have you observed? Yes, Miss Gwendolyn. What can you describe in the picture?
I observed that the picture shows us about being lazy as a person.
Yes, being lazy, not finishing the work, or what we call that in Filipino traits, the ningas kugon. Yes, do you know what is kugon? It's like a cotton that burns very very fast but slow down. So ningas kugon is like being at first like doing our project at a full eagerness, but actually not finishing it, right? Just like have you observed the picture? So
So actually, a mining site.
yes, mining site, and
we were-
actually almost there, but he didn't finish it, right? It's almost a success, but he actually gives up. So have you tried it? Pursuing your dreams or your passion, but you actually failed to do it. So Milky, what's your experience?
I think I've been there also, but actually I did not try to hold back myself from getting what I want in life, what I dream, and still now I'm trying to do my best that I could reach my dream in life. Maybe on the other stuff like maybe I want to do the laundry. I feel like I am eager to do it in the first place, but when I'm doing my laundry, I feel like I wanted to leave it. I don't want to finish it already. I feel tired. Maybe on that stuff.
Okay. So, ningas kugon in Spanish means burning kogon grass. This flaming grass quickly burns out, and this best describes one of the worst Filipino traits. Most of us are very good at this. We are excellent at starting projects or idea execution. Nevertheless, after a few hours or days, we lose the excitement. Yes, this is very true. So we must do something to stop it, right? Because it will only leave us on very loose opportunities and many more. Okay. Next picture. So what have you observed?
It's about Filipino time.
Yes, it's about Filipino time. So why do we call it Filipino time?
Because a Filipino likes to delay things when you plan to start your things at, for example, at 7 a.m. Others would come by 8, and others would be very late. They will come by 9, and worse, 10.
Yes. So this is very unprofessional. For example, for Americans who is very business-minded, that every second is money. So it is very embarrassing for us if we have this trait, right?
Yes.
So as a student, we must do something about it. Okay, next picture. So what have you observed? Yes? Miss Gwendolyn? Yes?
I think the picture shows about gossiping.
Yes, gossiping or chismes. This is very common on every houses, like in Philippines, right? What do you call that?
Yeah.
Every neighbor is just talking about each other, about the other's neighbors, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You have this experience?
Yes.
Yes, we can observe it in the community.
Yes, this is very also toxic because Filipinos are very fond of talking, and actually what happens when we gossip? Like changing the stories, and actually the story became too far from the original.
We might
It would lead to chaos.
Yes, chaos.
we might harm other people.
Yes. And we even
We sometimes, if other people would worsen the gossip, then it could degrade others' reputation as well.
yes. So, but have you tried gossiping in your classmates, in your school?
Yeah, we tried. Maybe
Yes.
all have been there.
Yes, we have been there, but it is very bad example because it could lead to a lot of disasters. Some other people are actually on barangays disputes. Okay, so the captains are trying to fix between the neighbors' problems, right? Okay, next. So, what have you observed in the picture? Or what have you
Like-
observed? Just idea.
I
Idea.
think it's making belittling other people. You make them feel small or being little or being weak.
That could be another pointing other people's, or we have it as blaming others or irresponsibility. So we Filipinos can sometimes be self-righteous. When we make mistakes, we do not want to take the blame. Yes? So sometimes when we make mistakes, like we don't want to take responsibility because we are very afraid we didn't want to take the blame, right? So sometimes we are guilty, but we put the blame to other people. We are pointing because of her, because of him, right? So this habit is also popular among other public officials. So what happens, just like in calamities, so what happens to the president?
He blamed the president.
Yes, blaming the president of what was happening in the what happened to the people during the calamity of typhoons. So, what have you observed about the reaction of the netizens? What had they done? Or in the social media, what have you observed?
They would post bad comments about the president.
Yes, like what?
Like, nasa na si Duterte?
Okay. Okay, spell it. Miss Libero?
Other citizens would find themselves finding someone to be blamed off instead of helping or be part of the responsibility to help other people. And that maybe it would be good if they could be like that instead of finding someone who could be blamed for what is happening.
Yes, because this is not also the president's responsibility, since it is our nation. We must help, and at first we must reflect on ourselves. What had we done? Why the typhoon, or why the effect of the typhoon is like this? So have we cut the trees, or have we put the garbage anywhere so that the canal had clogged, or the drainage system was being clogged? So we must be responsible and not just take the blame to other people. So next. So what have you observed in the next picture? So what have you observed?
I think
Yes?
I think mom is being insensible. I think
Considerate?
inconsiderate.
Yes. It is about inconsideration or being thoughtless of others. So As have you observed in the picture, what can you read the caption, Miss Gwendolyn?
Excuse me, could you please get out of my way? I get a baby.
So, details. Okay, Miss Lavera.
Okay, ma'am. So the picture shows that there is a woman. She is strolling her baby, and there is an old man in front of her, and she just said, "Excuse me, could you please get out of my way? I've got a baby." So it's being showing a being inconsiderate, despite that she knows that the old man is having his hard time passing by using his wheelchair. He could not also walk.
Yes.
So the woman should, instead of being so inconsiderate and being thoughtless of the situation of an old man, she could have just pulled her stroller on the other direction and just quietly pass by.
Okay, so the lady shows being inconsiderate about the situation. So what have you observed in that picture?
Breaking rules.
Yes. The picture shows breaking rules. So it is very common for Filipinos that breaking rules, just like in passing in the streets, right? In cities, no jaywalking, but Filipinos are still doing it, right? And that leads to accident. And what example can you give about breaking rules? In classroom, yes, vandalisms. In our governments, laws and regulation are created to make community harmonious. So, however, how we can achieve that peaceful neighborhood if we cannot even follow the simplest rule like crossing the pedestrian lane without loitering around? So if we demand for change in our government, we should also strive to change. So just like in our government, so if we demand for change, we must first follow simple rules, right? So not break them, because if we're the one to break them, so who would be the role model of the smaller children, right? So we must first start with ourselves, disciplining ourselves. So for better future or for better environment. So next. So what have you observed in that picture? Yes, any idea?
I think it shows being a self-centered person.
Okay. Being a attention grabber or being an apple. So this is very common for Filipinos. Attention grabber. So there are a lot of people like they show no grab attention to the public just to be noticed by people around them. So it is very common, like in cities or bloggers, they just show it to the public and just to grab attention and to get more views. So it's just discarded, right? So
Yes, ma'am. Maybe
yes.
could it be belong to what they say KSP?
Yes, KSP. Yes, KSP. So it is very natural for Filipinos to attract attention by standing out, as we are fun and people-loving race. Nevertheless, it is different thing to being an apple or kapal mox, or simply being an attention grabber. Sometimes, in our desperate need to be the center of attention, we do things that are already embarrassing, like putting in conversation as to know it all by being scandalous. What is this? What's this picture?
It's an onion.
Yes, an onion. So, what trait can you remember about onion?
Balat sibuyas.
Yes, balat sibuyas. Or being too sensitive, or onion skin. So, balat sibuyas. So, what's the characteristic of So what usually onion makes us when we hold it or peel it? It will make us cry, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So another habit or attitude that we need to change is our being too prideful, which usually result to being oversensitive. If we think highly of ourselves, then we have the tendency to put a wall around us and that signboard or on our forehead saying, I must be respected. So just like you are putting too much pride in yourself that you actually, like, you didn't want to be like, yes, making fun of. Therefore, when someone makes a joke or not so positive comment about us, we feel like we are not respected and we get offended. Yes. If all people in the country do not know how to accept constructive criticism, we can never expect unity. So, what happened to people when they are being too oversensitive? So they usually they don't accept criticism, right?
They're close-minded.
Yes, close-minded. Like they actually cried when someone being so straightforward, right? So they didn't know how about constructive criticism. So when someone make fun of you, do you usually cry?
I think it depends. If not all the time.
Offensive?
Not all the time. I think you weigh if it's too offensive or it really insults you. But most of the time, I laugh with it. I just laugh it off. I know it's a joke, but if you are an onion skin or you are being too sensitive, everything would be fall to being serious. And
Yes.
if you are being like that, then you tend to be, you make yourself being separate to other people.
Yes.
It's like you're making a gap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some people would actually tell you that you are a killjoy, right?
Yes.
So let's go to the next picture. What can you observe in that picture? He is climbing.
Climbing a stair,
Climbing a stair.
and the other woman is
Still climbing.
They're climbing.
Okay, that shows living beyond their means or social climbing. Social climbing. So, this is social climbing. So, social climbing or living beyond their means, one of the reasons why a lot of Filipino live in poverty because of overspending, right? So people actually have limited like wages, but because of their over expenses, like yes, because they are trying to fit the higher level of community, so they wanted to spend more just to prove that they are wealthy, and they could be on the same level with the other people, right? So they trying to change their or to live an elite lifestyle. So many resort to social climbing is living beyond their means. Sometimes some of us think that as long as we wear designer clothes and shoes, we send our children to most expensive pool is right to be swimming in credit and loans. So sometimes most they are in debt of loans. They are drawn in loans and debts in banks because they wanted to dress their children or themselves just to prove they could be in the same level of wealthy people. To observe this in our community.
yes, ma'am.
So what happened to just to Filipinos who actually is social climb?
Just like what you said, mom, they will have lots or tons of debts that they could not pay off, because they wanted the luxurious life, which is not being beyond their capacity as well. Even if they don't have the wealth, they wanted to be a wealthy people. So some of them would resort to have loans,
Yes.
debts, and they could have hard time to pay this debts because in the first place they don't have the means and money
Yes.
to spend.
Okay, so we must not act like we are wealthy or we have a lot of money to show off or show ourselves that we are in the level of other people. Okay, we must accept that we are just our parents can afford just this, and so maybe later in our life we can pursue things and get it on our own if we have better jobs, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the last slide, what can you say about this? Blind people walking without
Following their leader, or
yes.
they're just going with the flow.
Okay, so that shows lack of leadership. Sensitivity or lack of leadership. Or lack of leadership. So what happens when a country lacks leadership? So would you think the country will progress? No, because why?
There's no one who will lead the
Yes.
people.
So Filipino lack of initiative for change is also one reason why our country does not progress. We keep on complaining against the government and other social issues. However, we do not know anything about them. One of the excuses is lack of faith that our small action can bring change. However, the worst reason for this could be our lack of courage and confidence. So if you notice, if you have noticed in this, so if our government, if we in ourselves we lack confidence and leadership, what will happen to the country if we do not work on our own, or we lack in confidence in ourselves to move forward, or we just follow the blind or the blind or the wrong path of the governments or the people that we usually follow.
I think if that would be the trait of the person or the citizen, mom, if what is their level or if they are poor, they will always remain poor. There will be no changes in their life even if they wanted to, because in the first place they don't have that self-esteem or confidence that will boost them up to go forward, move forward, and make changes in their lives for the better, not just for themselves but as well for their community and to the whole nation as well.
Yes. So we must also in ourselves first. We must improve our confidence, as we are a leader of our own on ourselves, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So there are smaller children that need guidance. So we must first be a leader. So our younger siblings or another or younger children could look up on us, right? So they could have built their selves in the future. So that would be our last slide. So can you enumerate the 14 negative traits? So I'm going to show you the pictures
Okay.
and just
Say it loud.
okay, name it. What's this trait?
Crab mentality, procrastination,
Destination.
bahala na, hypocrisy or being double-faced,
Face. Okay.
kuwan,
Ningas kuwan.
Filipino time,
Okay.
Blaming others.
Yes, blaming others.
And inconsiderate.
Yes, inconsideration.
Breaking of the rules.
Okay, breaking rules.
Attention grabber.
Yes, being an epan.
Being
Onion skin.
Yes, onion skin and
social
Shell
climbing.
climber.
Passivity.
Lack of leadership.
Okay, so since you know about the negative traits of Filipino, so for your assignments, research about the positive traits of Filipinos for our next discussion tomorrow. Okay, goodbye class.
Goodbye, ma'am. Thank you.